Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the most explosive night in wrestling, MWL, Friday Night Clash.
Let's get into rankings and injuries for last month. It looks like a few wrestlers are on the shelf for the time being. There also seems to be a few returning this month.
MWL Rankings Update, July 2025. After an explosive Super Brawl, the landscape has shifted once again, and here are your top 5 warriors leading the charge into the summer of mayhem. Rank 1, MWL Rogue Champion, Deathstorm. From the shadows of DOA to the top of the mountain, the Rogue Champion Deathstorm has weathered challengers, chaos, and climbed his way to the #1 spot in MWL. A dominant force, and now the top of the rankings. Rank Tunes. The former #1 drops 1 spot, but make no mistake, Mr. Jones is still in the hunt. After that brutal war at Super Brawl for the MWL Championship and family leadership, Jones looks more dangerous than ever. The explosive spark of Clash at Might keeps rising. Daniel DD Dynamite continues to light up the MWL, racking up key victories and maintaining his grip on #3 spot. Rank 4? Coming off a standout performance at Super Brawl, Willow-Matic shows he's not just flashy, he's focused, climbing into the top 5 and ready for more gold. Rank 5. The Owens family patriarch holds strong at #5. Aiden Owens is pulling strings, calling shots, and delivering in the ring. Could he be closing in on a championship run soon? There you have it, MWL July rankings.
Here is our MVP for last week. What an amazing talent.
And here we have our match of the week. These stars put together an amazing match and deserve this. Congratulations as you have the match of the week.
Let's kick things off with a bang, because Friday Night Clash starts right now. The camera fades in from black. The MWL logo pulses before cutting to a dimly lit hallway backstage. A faint hum of the crowd is heard from the arena. The screen reveals MWL Frost Trio's champion Sarah Davis, title over her shoulder, standing in a quiet corner, intense, focused. Suddenly, emerging from the shadows behind her is the Tormentor, face painted and calm, almost too calm. I didn't expect you to show up this early, Tormentor. I said I'd be watching, and when I watch, I learn. You're holding gold, Sarah, but the frost doesn't last forever. Neither does the fear you try to spread, but if you're here to play mind games, you'll have to do better than riddles and whispers. Oh, I'm not here to play. I'm here to see how long you can hold on to something that doesn't belong to you. The two lock eyes, Sarah intense, Tormentor unreadable, a silent tension brews. Oh boy, and with that stare down, we kick things off. MWL Friday Night Clash is live, and you can already feel the frost in the air. Sarah Davis, the Tormentor. Could we be seeing something developing right before our eyes? The screen cuts to the roaring crowd in the arena. Friday Night Clash officially begins. The camera shakes slightly as it chases after a familiar figure in a long black trench coat. Announcer Mike approaches, cautiously holding a mic. Deadman. You just shocked the entire MWL universe by returning at Super Brawl and taking out all 3 competitors in the main event. Why? Why now? Deadman slowly turns to face the camera. His cold stare pierces through the lens. He doesn't speak at first. He just lifts his gloved hand and points toward the floor, then begins to speak. The family forgot who buried the bodies before them. They forgot who bled so they could wear gold. And tonight, I reminded them that dead things never stay buried. Mike gulps nervously, stepping back. Mason Page may think he's the new leader of the family, but that crown is cursed, and now he owes a debt to death itself. He stares into the camera again, then slowly walks off, his footsteps echoing ominously down the hallway. Ladies and gentlemen, Deadman is back, and it looks like the family has unfinished business with the grave. Cut to black with a simple message across the screen. The past always returns. Welcome back to Friday Night Clash. Up next, it's a brutal rogue match between 2 of the most punishing strikers in MWL, the Destroyer and Bloodline Jalen. And don't forget, both of these men have something to prove. Jalen has been silent since his faction leader Deadman disappeared. And the Destroyer? He's out to remind everyone why Dynasty fears him. Match start. The bell rings. The Destroyer slowly steps to the center of the ring, cracking his neck. Jalen paces like a predator, eyes locked. Lock up. Jalen shoves the Destroyer into the corner with raw power, but Destroyer comes right back with a forearm smash. Another. He whips Jalen into the opposite turnbuckle, running splash by Destroyer. Jalen stumbles out, spine buster. The ring just shook. Jalen kicks out at 1. Jalen rolls to his feet, super kick from nowhere. Snap DDT from Jalen. He drags Destroyer to his feet and hits a pop-up powerbomb. Jalen showing that bloodline brute strength. He grabs a steel chair. Legal in rogue matches. He swings. Destroyer dodges. Chair bounces off the ropes and hits Jalen's own face. Chokeslam by Destroyer. Jalen barely gets the shoulder up. Interference? Suddenly, movement in the crowd. 2 masked men in hooded robes approach the barricade. Wait a second. Is that the Ones? Is that Deadman's crew? Before they can interfere, security swarms. No interference allowed tonight. They're escorted out. Looks like someone tried to play backup for Jalen, but not on Destroyer's watch. Back in the ring, Destroyer grabs a kendo stick from under the apron. Jalen staggers. Destroyer hits the Dynasty Bomb, Seat Out Crucifix Power Bomb. Cover. 1, 2, 3. The Destroyer with a statement win over Bloodline Jalen. That's what you call dominance. Weapons, power, and no mercy. And you know what? I think the Dynasty's planning something big. The Destroyer stands tall over a battered Jalen, raising one arm in silence. No celebration, just pure business. Camera pans in on Deathstorm, flanked Deathstorm. Judgment failed. They had the fog, they had the shot, and they choked. Harper and Todoroshi walked through that mist like kings. But their time? It's up. Those belts, they belong in a place where destruction rules. Not honor, not respect. DOA isn't asking, we're taking. Zero Exo steps into frame face to face with Deathstorm. You better be careful what you're planning. Judgment doesn't forget. We adapt. We regroup. But this war isn't over. Judgment walks off. Deathstorm watches silently. Deathstorm, Todoroshi, Harper, you survived Judgment, but no one survives a storm. Hardcore stares at the camera with a grin, then punches the wall behind them. Cut to Mike and John at ringside. DOA has officially declared war on the Mist Tag Champions. Super Brawl may be over, but the next chapter might be the most dangerous one yet. Get ready, folks. The ring is covered in sludge, the grip is gone, the rules are rough, and the tension is high. 2 intense competitors collide tonight. Steve Davis, 1/3 of the MWL Frost Trios champions, takes on a demonic shadow of Dynasty. The bell rings as both men step cautiously on the sludge-coated canvas. Steve Davis, ever the technician, crouches low. Shadow slinks forward, eerily calm. Collar and elbow tie-up. Both slip, falling into the sludge. Shadow laughs creepily and claws at Steve's face, raking the eyes. That's legal in a sludge match. No disqualifications. Steve recovers, sweeping Shadow's legs. Mounted punches. Sludge flies with every impact. Steve pulls Shadow up and slams him into the corner with a sludge-soaked spinebuster. Steve attempts a running knee strike, but slips. Shadow catches him mid-slip with a falling flatliner into the mat. Smart awareness by Shadow. He used the sludge to his advantage. Suddenly, the Destroyer appears on the ramp, watching silently. He doesn't interfere, but his presence distracts a demonic shadow for a moment. The Destroyer out here again? Is he scouting or sending a message? Shadow shrugs it off and sets up for his finisher. Shadow's clutch submission, but Steve wriggles out in the sludge, slipping behind with a German suplex. Both men struggle to rise. Steve grips the ropes, launching forward. Running knee connects. Steve grabs a steel chair from outside. He tosses it into the ring, slides in, and waits. Shadow stumbles up. Steve lifts Shadow, pump handle powerbomb into the sludge. Announcer John. That might have knocked the darkness out of him. Cover. Steve Davis wins in the sludge, making a big statement, and possibly sending a message back to the dynasty. You have to believe the Destroyer was watching that closely, and we might not have seen the last of this. Steve doesn't celebrate. He stares back at the Destroyer at the top of the ramp. The two lock eyes as the segment fades to black. Camera follows a limo pulling up outside the arena gates. The door swings open. The fans erupt as Mr. molhr steps out in a sharp black coat, bandaged shoulder still visible, but walking with purpose after weeks of being sidelined. He adjusts his jacket, nods to security, and steps into the arena. Announcer Mike, that's him. The boss is back. Mr. molhr has returned to MWL after recovering from that brutal rogue match injury. And you know, with all the chaos that's gone down, he's walking into a storm. As Mr. molhr rounds the hallway corner toward his office, he's suddenly met by Unlucky Hero X, leaning coolly against the wall, arms folded, smirk on his face. Well, look who finally decided to crawl out of rehab. Welcome back, boss. Mr. molhr narrows his eyes, sizing up the surprise greeting. Appreciate it. What do you want? Unlucky here, I want to talk. You know, about that favor you owe me. That night in the tag match, you don't walk out without me. Now it's time to pay up. Mr. molhr pauses, takes a breath, and gives a slow nod. You've got 5 minutes. Let's talk in the office. They both walk side by side toward the GM office, with the camera pulling back slowly as the door shuts behind them. Whoa! What's this about? Whatever deal's being made behind those doors, it sounds like it's heading straight to MWL mayhem.
Announcer, it looks like it is time for our main event.
Blazing match. Fire surrounding the ring. Match. Big Bad Joe and Will-O-Matic versus Jack Owens and Aiden Owens. Welcome to the Inferno. The fire's been lit. It's time for our main event. In this blazing match, there's no escape, just fury and flames. Big Bad Joe and Will-O-Matic form an unexpected powerhouse team tonight, but they're up against one of MWL's most dangerous brother duos, Jack and Aiden Owens. The bell rings. The ropes are ablaze, the arena lights dim to let the flames glow. Jack starts off with Will-O-Matic. Fast, tight lockup. Will hits a quick drop kick. Jack ricochets back and answers with a lariat that sends Will flipping into the mat. Jack drags Will up, attempts a German suplex, but Will backflips out and lands a slingshot knee strike. Will-O-Matic's speed is on full display tonight, but that fire surrounding the ring, you touch that and your night is over. Will tags in Big Bad Joe. The crowd erupts. Joe charges in and levels Jack with a shoulder block. Jack scrambles to tag Aiden. The older brother steps in, more cautious, circling Joe. Aiden and Joe trade massive punches. Joe grabs Aiden, spinebuster near the ropes, and the flames roar higher on impact. Big Bad Joe nearly cracked the ring with that one. Suddenly, Barney Sanders, Will's manager, walks down the ramp, shouting instructions. The referee tries to keep his eye on the action, but the distraction is noticed. Jack sneaks in. Low blow to Will-O-Matic behind the ref's back. Classic Owens family tactics. Joe tries to intervene, but Aiden throws a steel chair from outside into the flames, creating a fiery burst to force Joe to back off. Jack and Aiden double-team Will. Super kick from Aiden into a DDT from Jack. Cover. Will kicks out. Joe finally re-enters and cleans house. Clothesline to Aiden. Power slam to Jack. Will-O-Matic climbs the ropes, risky in a blazing match, and hits a corkscrew moonsault onto Jack. Aiden tries to interfere again, but Barney Sanders holds his leg. Wait a minute. Barney's getting involved again, but this time for real impact. Joe grabs Aiden, choke bomb right in the center of the ring. Will signals finisher elevated reality springboard stunner. Connects on Jack Owens. Cover. They did it. Big Bad Joe and Will-O-Matic survived the blaze and topple the Owens brothers. That could have major implications heading into MWL Mayhem, especially with the way Willow's been climbing the ranks lately. Barney raises Will's arm proudly. Joe nods silently, glaring into the flames. Camera cuts to the ring just after the fire dies down from the blazing match. Big Bad Joe stands tall, sweat pouring down his face, intensity still raging. Will-O-Matic catches his breath on the turnbuckle. The crowd is still electric. Big Bad Joe, we just walked through hellfire together, and we won. And I'm not done. See, with my Destruction brothers out injured, Classy writes, Henry all down, I should be sidelined, but I'm not, because I'm still breathing and still hunting gold. He turns to Will-O-Matic, who looks up, still recovering. So listen up, Enlighten, Judgment, whoever's holding those missed tag team titles, I want them. And guess what? My partner ain't from Destruction tonight, it's him. Joe points hard at Will-O-Matic. The crowd cheers in shock. Will's eyes widen. You proved yourself tonight, kid. So whether you like it or not, we're gunning for the missed tag team titles. Joe grabs Will's wrist and forcefully raises his arm in victory again. Did Big Bad Joe just draft Will-O-Matic into his new tag team? Whether Will likes it or not, the road to the missed tag team titles just got a new duo. Will-O-Matic still looks stunned, half smiling, half unsure as Big Bad Joe stares intensely into the hard cam. Fade out on the two standing united, but clearly not on the same page.